Boys and girls, it is a new day, a new vlog. It's still London Comic Con weekend, and that's exactly where we're going to be heading over to in a minute. As you can see, as ever on the Saturday morning of a convention, we have a Pabby in our room, and I won't tell you whether he's been here all night or not. But we are about to grab some breakfast. We're going to go out and get some, because hotel breakfast is expensive and a long queue. So we're going to go and grab some breakfast from somewhere else, and then I guess at some point in the next half hour or so, we'll find out which hotel Sheepdog actually went to, and then we'll navigate him here. But at some point we will head back over to Comic Con and have a proper look around today. Anna's looking a little bit rough these days.
Hey, how dare you?
We've swapped Anna for Sheepdog. Anna is going to be staying back at the hotel for the first part of today so that she doesn't get broken feet again. We've collected Sheepdog, who has made it here relatively unscathed this time.
I don't know why I'm still wearing a mask outdoors. I don't know. Hiding my identity.
Yeah, you didn't want people to know it was you. That was how the Anna gag worked. And we are now heading to the convention. Good old Comic Con. Despite the fact that we pick up our passes from this end rather than at general admission, they've let me in through that entrance, but these two have not been allowed in because the person guarding the entrance refuses to believe that they picked them up from this end, even though I did. So they've got to walk all the way round where they'll then be sent back because their passes are at this end. So awesome. Luckily there was another gap in the fence a little bit further on and they were just let straight through that one. The desk is where it was yesterday. That other person was absolutely trying to send them all the way to the other end of the centre, where they would have then been sent all the way back down here again, but they are getting in and getting sorted now. It is nice and busy. It's not normal Saturday busy, but it definitely feels like something's going on, which is a big upgrade on where we were a couple of weeks ago. I will stop comparing it to EGX at some point. Now I feel like I'm back at Comic Con, absolutely rammed in with loads of people. What pandemic? They've got the Andre the Giant pop that I saw at EGX and quite fancied. It's 40 quid, but it is very cool. And I don't actually have any Andre the Giant stuff, so I feel like that might be a Sunday purchase if it's still there. Don't know if you can see if I get close enough. That is an 18-inch tall Batman pop, which is just the best thing. Absolutely want that for my backdrop. £70 though. Might need to see if we can find that online, because quite apart from anything else, I don't want to carry it around all day. Somewhere at the back here somewhere, they've got a Ronald McDonald pop vinyl, only £15. Kind of think that might be something Andy would probably quite like, but I don't want to start him with a McDonald's merch collection. One thing I'm noticing, much to my part disappointment, but part actually this is probably for the best, there's no wrestling figures here hardly. Normally there's loads. Normally you find loads of boxes of old Hasbros, and I just kind of come here with a plan to just root through those, because I've got a little bit of a mini collection of old WWF Hasbros from the 90s that I've started picking up off eBay. And I thought I'd be able to come here and add to that collection, but I think amongst the bits that haven't arrived, the wrestling stuff isn't here. There's usually a big wrestling shop that come, and no sign of them just yet, which I guess is for the best. I've said before, I'm probably one purchase away from finally needing a storage container, but I want wrestlers, I don't mind. I guess it was only going to be a matter of time before Quidditch became an actual sport. You actually have to have a pole between your legs, which I find curious. Well, this is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Huge queues for all of the Marvel stuff for photo ops. Absolutely no queue. Nobody at platform 9 3/4. Harry Potter officially dead. Massive queue to try and lift Thor's hammer next to it. Looks like that's the stage we're on tomorrow. So proper table panel setup. Meaning I spent all that money on these shoes for absolutely nothing because no one's going to see my feet. What a waste. But I think this is where we are tomorrow. Nice little dark corner, 11 AM. It's going to be awesome. Well, we've made it into the other hall, which is even more crowded than the one we were just in. This is where you grab food. So if I guess, to be fair, it is 1:45, and this is where you get the food from. So I think we've kind of walked in on everybody. Getting their fill. They've got the advent calendar I've ordered up there. Funko The Office. Trying to see how much it is, because I think I've paid £40 for it online and it hasn't arrived yet. I want it right now. On this stall, you can buy Pokeballs for £100, which is terrifying. Well, we've had a good couple of hours in the convention. It is now just gone 1 o'clock, so the plan now, something to eat, something to drink, and jam and comic books. Like, I think that's officially known as the perfect Saturday afternoon. Unlike last week, quite a small queue for the Devil's Transport. So we're going on the Devil's Transport. Here we go then, boys and girls. Devil's Transport for the first time in years, I guess. I don't remember the last time we did this. Actually, I do. We did it last summer. We brought Andy on here, I think, and he didn't really like it. And it was dark, and I didn't really like it. What are you pointing at?
That little child statue in the middle of the bloody river that people are going to think
down
is a
there
real
somewhere.
child.
But here we go. Yeah! Oh, by the way, say something into the camera.
What do you want me to say?
You say something into the camera.
What sort of thing are we looking at?
That'll do. Because the last video, everyone said, Sheepdog and Pab didn't really say anything. What was the point of them being there? And my initial reaction was, well, they were here for themselves, not as part of the video. But now they've been in the video, they've been here to be in the video. They're not just background extras, they now are officially credited actors. Fortnum & Mason Halloween stuff. Now you're talking. I want pumpkin jam or we riot.
Some of them.
Or any of these pumpkin jam. I want some witch's fingernails. We're getting witch's fingernails. Jam shopping complete. I did get some witch's fingernails, so we'll do a taste test on them later. They're chocolate coated pumpkin seeds, which sounds very pleasant. Got a couple of jars of jam. Got some sugared almonds as well. Need to stop coming to London because I've got to stop going to Fortnum & Mason and spending too much money on sweets every time we come. Something that we've been asked to try a gazillion times about coming down to London. We've never really done it. Today's the day I try crosstown donuts. This might be the day I fall out of love with Krispy Kreme. I don't really know how I can possibly eat one of these and film me doing it though. I don't think it's going to work. Official verdict. Pretty good. Oh, I got a cinnamon one, so it doesn't really taste like a donut. But it's the best cinnamon swirl I've had in quite some time. Well, we've navigated our way through all the sex shops of Soho to get to Gosh Comics for the first time in like 2 years, at least. This is the best comic shop in London. That is a couple of books purchased in there. I'll show you everything I've bought when I'm back at the hotel later, because we're starting to get a little haul going now. After not buying anything when I was down here a couple of weeks ago, we are going for it. I used to have just gone downstairs in this one where they keep all the new stuff, but I needed to get some air. It's one of those annoying days where it's too cold for me to not have a coat, but every time I go inside I start sweating because it's too hot to wear a coat. The perils of being a fat man, but I'll just wait out here for them. We're heading over to, I think, Forbidden Planet next, and then we should be pretty much at the point where we can wheel back over to Stratford, collect Anna, and get on with our evening shenanigans. Well, as ever, we've refused to use any kind of navigation device in London, and are approaching Forbidden Planet from the opposite direction to what we normally do, having aimlessly wandered around the side streets of Soho and Shaftesbury Avenue. But here we are at Forbidden Planet. About once every year or so I decide to try and get into a new manga series. I had 3 potential ones that I was going to try today. Infuriatingly, none of the 3 that I wanted to try had part 1s in there. There's just part 2s and onwards of pretty much everything. It's like everyone has the same idea and just samples of part 1, and they haven't got any. So nothing purchased in Forbidden Planet for the 2nd trip in a row, but I did get a couple at Gosh Comics. So it's not been a completely wasted weekend. I'm now just waiting for those 2 to finish faffing around before I think we're done and ready to head back over to Stratford. It is just about 4 o'clock, so by the time we got back over there, it'll be perfect timing to pick Anna up and go and find somewhere to have our dinner, which we still haven't decided what we're doing yet. I'm still kind of hopeful we get to go to Bodine's. Haven't been there for ages. Right, I'm back at the hotel. This is Anna. And Anna, I have got for you some witch's fingernails.
Thank you.
Which we saw in the Halloween display in the window. I also have some, because we always have to get them, sugared almonds, but not the gold and silver ones. I got the multicoloured ones because I thought they looked cool.
No! cute.
But Anna ate all the gold and silver ones from 2 weeks ago.
You're such a liar.
They were left in the kitchen for a week.
You hid them in the kitchen and ate them by yourself.
I also got, because you still haven't touched your jam from last time, I got some lemon curd and some jam in big jars. Big jars. But the lemon curd we got last time in the little sample pack was absolutely delicious. And then the other things that I got were from Gosh Comics, where it's a very hipster comic book shop. So I wanted this X-Men book, so I got myself the X-Men book, but you can't go somewhere like Gosh Comics and buy just an X-Men book. So I also got The Impending Blindness of Billy Scott, to make sure I got a hipster comic book as well, so they didn't think I was the wrong kind of comic book reader. So yeah, they're both on the Gosh Comics Best Comics of 2020 list.
How
so,
much are they?
You don't need so much
How
they
much
were.
are they?
I don't know, about 30 quid I should think.
Each?
No.
Kevin.
No, I don't think so. It was like 30 quid, I think. And now we're going to go and buy me a new iPad.
No, we're not.
Pab did say, because my iPad is rotten, I need a new one. I've had mine like 5 years. Pab did say when we get here, if Anna's not ready, tell her you're outside the Apple store and she's got to get there in time to stop me buying one. This is Pab's idea. That I go there, say I'm outside the Apple store ready to buy one. If you want me not to, you have to come here and stop me. Can I try a witch's fingernail, please? They're chocolate covered pumpkin seeds.
Dark chocolate.
Well, I'll have a dark chocolate one. I like a dark chocolate. So this, boys and girls, is a witch's fingernail. What I actually wanted was pumpkin jam, but they didn't have any. Good work, Portman Mason. So I now have this one with me again. We're just standing outside the hotel waiting, because we got a message from Sheepdog and Pab saying they were ready to go about 15 minutes ago. So we came down here, said we'll meet you down there. They're not here yet, so we might be going for a romantic meal for two at this rate. Romance. Show everyone the hoodie you bought this morning. Was this a Primark special?
Yeah, because apparently the cardigan I wanted is not available online.
Yeah, so
not available in store, sorry.
An excellent Donald Duck Primark hoodie. It probably cost about 4 quid because it's from Primark.
14.
14 quid? Whoa. We're popping Sheepdog's Wagamama cherry. Never been here before.
I haven't.
Can you believe it? So he's tucking into an edamame bean. Meanwhile, finally, you got to come to Wagamama on a weekend away. Happy now?
We did with Pub at one time.
We did. Soup!
They didn't have my favourite.
No wet fish for you today. And no food for Pab, apparently. Never had a dessert in Wagamama before, but we have banana katsu, which looks and smells awesome. We are back in the hotel bar because guess what? We're going to play Mario Party again. Pab, Mr. OLED Switch, tried to suggest that we didn't need his Switch for this. He's part of my plan to convince Anna I need an OLED Switch as well as my new iPad.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer I got? If I was only allowed an iPad or an OLED Switch, which would it be? Need to get her drunk. Can you get Anna 2 more beers, please?
Working on it.
Excellent. Boys and girls, I know sometimes I complain about Mario Party that it's random. Today, all skill, and obviously, I am victorious. The king of Mario Party is old Monty Mole. Who? Boo. Monty Mole.
Shut up with your Monty Mole.
Molly.
Monty Mole.
Shut up.
Monty.
Oh God, hate you all. Hate you all. Hate you all.
Yell it and then we'll stop.
Monty!
Please stop.
Oh no.
If you not again, thank you.
Monty Mole, eh? Wonderful stuff.
Hate you all. Not your friends.
They're sleeping on the floor below me and Anna, so I'm hoping at some point in the night he just does it again. Or we just hit a Monty Mole through the floorboards. It would be perfect. Absolutely. And we are back in the room. It's not even 10 o'clock, but I think we're just gonna have an early night. We've got to be up mega early tomorrow. Mega early for being away on holiday. We've got to get up for... Basically, we've got to be out of the hotel for like 9 to get over to the convention early enough for the panel, which is at 11, which is when the main show opens tomorrow. So I'm a little bit unsure how the panel is going to go because I feel like there's not going to be many people there at the start, but it's going to fill up as it goes on because it's right next to the door on the way in. So I'll give you one last view of nighttime out the window where we can see the football ground and the pretty London skyline. And then we'll see you for the next video very soon.